G'day there. I thought we'd just start with a bit of research into the Blencowe family line. Before we start, I want you to know that all the living people have not been identified. They've been hidden or marked as living Blanco in this tree, and that is the normal procedure. If they're less than 100 years old or they're not recorded as dead, no information should be given on the internet. Having said that, let's go up the Blencowe tree and see how far we get. Now, my father was born in Western Australia, and he was the youngest of three sons. His two older brothers were born in South London. Now, their father, Thomas William Blencowe, was born in 1893 in Greenwich in Kent in England, and he married Florence Rosetta Tull. Now, when Thomas William Blencowe came out to Western Australia in 1923 for the group settlement scheme, he had to provide his father's birth certificate. So my father has that on record, so we actually have information on Thomas William Blencowe and Mary Hannah Green. So that's as far as we can go there. Thomas William Blencowe's birth certificate shows that he was born in number 1 Backway in Bicester and Oxfordshire in England. 50 Backway Road in Market End. And he was baptised in 1857. Now, his parents were Thomas Blencowe and Jane King. That's all marked on the birth record. So let's go from there. That was as far as I could go with my documents. Then I found a lady in New Zealand whose records went back a lot further, and she'd had contact with someone living in Bicester who'd done records in the Oxfordshire libraries and had the actual documents and information, so we could reliably go back further with the Blencowe. So here we go. Thomas Blencowe was married to Jane King. We knew that. His father was James Blencowe. Notice a change in spelling, and married to Judith Mortimer. His father was Thomas Blencowe, born in 1761 in Bicester, married to Mary Walker. His father was William Blencowe, married to Sarah Morse, and then later on to Anne Allam, and he was born in 1735 in Launton, Oxfordshire, England. And then we go to William Blencowe, who was married to Hannah Gillam, and he was born round about 1702. We're not sure. We've got his marriage record, and we know he was married in Launton in 1732. But the Launton church burnt down, and the records don't go any further. So that's as far as I got in the year 2000, and nothing happened in 2007 when I actually went and did a DNA test. That linked me to a gentleman in Queensland who had a very accurate family tree, so I was able to link to Thomas Blencowe, who was married to Temperance. I think it's Temperance Painter. I'll check on that later on. And he was born in 1580 in the village of Marston St Lawrence, north of Oxfordshire, and they lived in the Grand House. Now, Thomas Blencowe's father was John Blencowe, married to Margaret Saunders. His father was John Blencowe, married to Elizabeth Sokol, and he was born in 1510. His father was Thomas Blencowe, married to Joan Light, and he was born about 1475. He was the grandson of the John Blencowe who came from Cumberland, England. Now, his father, John Blencowe, married a Joanna. He was born before 1446 because he came to Marston St Lawrence with his father at a young age. John Blencowe came from the village of Blencowe, Blencow, and he was descended from the third son of Adam de Blencowe. So we'll just go back. We're not really sure whether he was the son or the grandson of the next John Blencowe. But there's John de Blencowe. That means John of Blencowe, and there are a few de Blencowes living in Blencowe, and we don't know that they're actually related because it just means they come from that village. His father was John de Blencowe. He was born round about 1324 in Greater Blencowe in Northumberland or Cumberland. And Adam de Blencowe is our first recorded ancestor. Now, there are other Blencos. We know he had a sister called Alice de Blencowe, and there are other de Blencos living in that area at the time. We cannot be certain that they were married. So that's my 18th great-grandfather, and we have documentation and records going right back to there. So let's try another branch. We'll go back to me, and this time we're exploring Thomas Blanco's birth certificate again, and his mother was Jane King. So we'll move her back to the start of the tree. We have that record in documents now. It took me a long time before I found out her parents were William King and Mary Stratford, who married in the village of Horsepath near Oxford, and they were married in 1823. Now Mary's Stratford we didn't know about for ages and ages, but once we found that, we had a breakthrough. So there's Mary Stratford, and we've got a record of her baptism there. Mary, 29th of May, daughter of William and Sarah Stratford. So we go to William Stratford and Sarah Wood, and we've got here christening record here. William, the son of Robert Stratford, on the 25th of September 1756. So there he is, 25th of September 1756. There's his baptism record. Then we've got Robert Stratford. It's William Stratford and Sarah Wood were married. Where's that? There's William Stratford and Sarah Wood. Robert Stratford married Mary Mayer. There's Robert Stratford. That's Robert Stratford's birth record. And Robert Stratford married to Mary Mayer. And the next one we've got is Robert Stratford, daughter of son of Thomas Stratford. And we've got a marriage record there for Thomas Stratford and Elizabeth Parry. And there's Robert Stratford and Mary Mayer married. I'll go a little bit further up the tree. John Stratford married to Dinah Cowles. Thomas Stratford, the son of John Stratford and Dinah. John Stratford and Dinah Cowles married. And the last one we've got Anthony Stratford, son of Rouse Stratford. So if we go right up there, we've got John Stratford, we've got Anthony Stratford, and we've got Rouse Stratford. Now Anthony Stratford and Rouse Stratford is of course the son of Anthony Stratford, Jane Rouse. Rouse is, it starts to get easier from here on. So we start to go straight into the Burke's peerage. And here we've got John Stratford, who married Margaret Howell, and they had a son, William, who married Joyce de la Motte, and they had a son, Anthony of Temple Greeting, who married Jane Rouse, and they had a son, Rouse. So there we've got some records, and we can go straight back up here, and we can go all the way up to John Stratford of the Parliament of Edward II. So here we go, and we've got all the records for this lot. We can go Anthony Stratford, William Stratford, John Stratford married Margaret Howell, Richard Stratford married Frances Kirkby, Robert Stratford married Anne Atwood, John Stratford married Catherine Highton, John Stratford married to Elizabeth Stenmarsh, Henry Stratford married to Margaret Loudane, John de Stratford, John of Stratford married Maud Seeley, Stephen de Stratford married to Elizabeth de Montcrost. Now, this Elizabeth, from here we go way, way back, right to the beginning of Saxon times. However, it's bits and pieces off the internet and it's not entirely reliable. Then we've got Robert de Stratford married Isabella Shirley, and he is born in the time of Edward II, and his father was Edward Stratford. Now, this Robert de Stratford was the burgess or the landowner for Stratford-on-Avon. So that's going back to the time of King Edward II, around about 1250, something like that. So that's as far as we can go when we've actually got records and documents. One of his sons, John de Stratford here, ended up Archbishop of Canterbury, and he was born about 1275. So there's a distinguished line, the owners of the Stratford-on-Avon area, and that's that particular branch of the family tree. We could go here to Elizabeth and look on here, but there's no evidence or proof on this, but just to see where it goes. Cecilia de Brickeford, Lucia, and let's follow Lucia. Thorod IV, Sheriff of Lincoln, Thorod III, Alfhelm of York, Thorod I, Gunnar, Gorm the Old, King of Denmark, 936 to 958, Half-Canute. So we're getting into the sagas now. Can't really prove any of this. We just sort of take it with a pinch of salt. His father, Half-Canute was the King of Denmark. Then we've got Sigurd Snake in the Eye and Ragnar Lodbrok. You probably heard about him from the Viking series. Then we go Sigurd Ring, Randver, Raubar. And he married Ivar's daughter, and Ivar Vidfarm was her father. And his father was Halfdan Haraldsson, and he married Mold Digra, and she was the daughter of Cerdic, first Saxon king of Wessex, who was born from 519 and died in 534. Sorry, he was king from 519 to 534. It does go further back. It goes all the way to Noah. Take it with a pinch of salt. But that's I'd say, unbelievable family tree. Oh well, I thought, well, why not? Let's go and have a look at the whole family tree. There's Cerdic, first Saxon king of Wessex, 519 to 534. And we'll just push that along and see where it goes. And it goes Eliza, Esla, Jewis, Y, Fruin, Frithgar, all Viking Saxon type names, Brond, Bolde, Woden. Now, if you push down one of these other branches, you'll come to King Alfred the Great. So he's about my 23rd cousin. I don't know how many times removed. And we go to Frithawulf, Freowine, Frithawulf, Finn, Godwulf, Gaiet, Tatwa, Baal, Skelwa, Heremod, Itamon, Hathra, Wala, Bedwick, Shem, now, and Noah. Well, there you go. King Alfred the Great created that bit, and I don't know whether it's believable. Probably not, but I guess you could do the rest of the family tree if you wanted to. You know where to go from there.